What is up, guys? It's your boy VBLand and back at it again with another video. And in today's video, we are going over the win deltas per operator versus the presence of the operators in the Year 7 Season 1.2 patch note. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you are not already, and let's get into it. Alright, so Finca is what jumps out to me on this attacking operator chart. And so the further right an operator is the more picked, okay? And Finca, it looks to be the most picked op for attackers, and of how far up they are is how much they win, the win delta. So Finca has the highest win delta and is the most picked up, which that's asking for a nerf when that happens. And so I expect to see a Finca nerf coming. And guys, I really do think that's the same for console. Okay, I do think Finca is one of the most played operators on console as well. And yeah, she's a really strong op. She's definitely getting nerfed soon. Yana, it looks like Yana is a good bit ahead of Twitch, Sledge, and Thatcher. So I would disagree that Yana's played that much more than Twitch if we're talking about console. I really disagree with that. Win Delta, I think, is probably correct. Yana's a really good operator, really underrated operator, but according to this chart, she's not very underrated because a lot of people are picking her. But I do think she's picked a good amount on console, but not, like, I wouldn't say more than Twitch, and I just wouldn't say that. So that's a little interesting to me. Obviously, we just talked about Twitch. People are gravitating towards that F2 more than the G8 with IQ lately, and Twitch is kind of on the rise. Sledge, this is interesting, guys. We're in a grenade kind of LMG meta. So, for example, I mean, the top 4 operators, 3 of them have grenades on the most picked. Okay, so that's something to keep an eye out on, and I think that's why you see a lot more Sledge than Buck. I don't really think Sledge is the better op, to be honest with you guys. I think it's just because the meta we're in, and everybody loves grenades. Okay, so I think that's the sole reason. I mean, I see Sledge played as much as Buck, okay? And I see Buck is played as much as Sledge. Okay, so, like, I don't see that big of a difference. But as you guys can see, Sledge is over here, and Buck's down here as picked, okay? They're about in the same spot, win delta-wise. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know how that would do with talking about console. Like I said, I think Buck has played as much as Sledge, so I don't know, but it looks to be a huge gap here. Thatcher, you know, it's a must pick op if he's not banned, so I guess that's a good spot for him. Jackal, yeah, understandable. Ace, understandable. Ash, and Zofia. This is weird to me, because, like I said, guys, we're in this LMG meta. So now I have these patch notes from last season, guys, and let me scroll up to the attackers from last season. Zofia's in the same spot as she was last season as she is this season. So that's pretty interesting how she's in the same spot when we're entering this LMG meta. So that's what I find really interesting. And I thought Ash would go down a little bit more, but I don't know. Maybe people are getting used to that R4C with the recoil nerf they did a couple seasons ago. Maybe people are starting to get used to it again and bringing Ash back up there. So that's pretty interesting. That's something to look out for, is Zofia and Ash and how they do. I mean, I don't know which one you would rather bring at this point. It looks like Zofia's, you win more if you bring Zofia. So Habana, probably the right spot. I think Habana and Ace are the better hard breachers than Thermite. I agree with that. I think console players agree with that as well. Maverick, good. Nomad, yeah, I kind of think Maverick and Nomad should be being played more closer to Jackal and Ash and Ace. Okay, I think these ops are must pick, but that's kind of just community based. Okay, I just think as a community, like these ops, Maverick and Nomad are kind of must pick ops most of the time. So I'm kind of surprised to not see their pick rate as far as ops like Ash and Jackal. So we already kind of talked about Buck, Thermite, kind of the third hard breacher in my opinion. Flores is not played very often on console. I will say that Flores is not given a lot of love on console, so I kind of think Flores is closer to where like Lion and Amaru are if we're talking about console. But on PC, that's probably very different, which it is very different. IQ, I think IQ and Amaru just go a little further up with their pick rate because of the G8 and how it's still decently popular. I mean, yes, more people are going towards the F2 and Twitch, Finka, and other LMGs to frag with, but I mean, G8 has a lot of ammo, and you know, it's still a lot of people like IQ just because of the G8, and that's I think the G8 meta is still a lot more popular on console than it is on PC. So I think people are still liking the G8 on console, just not as much, and that's why I think just moving IQ and Amaru up just a little bit would be more accurate for console. Okay, everybody else, I kind of think that it should be down there. I mean, keep an eye on Ying. You never know where Ying's gonna land. Otherwise, guys, I think this is kind of good. Yeah. Osa, we didn't really talk about. Actually, she's probably in the right spot, to be honest with you. I mean, I think she's a solid operator. And yeah, this is solid. So the attackers, I will say, the PC data does kind of match, I think, console platinum and above. I do agree with that. For the most part, you know. Now we're gonna go down to the defenders, guys. So what you guys got to keep in mind is Valkyrie defenders in the game. So that nerf really didn't do anything. Okay, it really didn't do anything. And so obviously Jaeger's the most picked. Don't look too much into his win delta. Okay, I think we all can agree Jaeger's the one. It's a must pick on defense most of the time. Malusi, I thought Malusi and Thorn were a great combo, and that's why I thought, since new op from last season, Thorn is picked up here. This is last season. Thorn was picked up here because he's the new operator, and Malusi, I thought Malusi would be up there just because Malusi's a good combination with the Thorn, and people were playing Thorn a lot. So I did expect Malusi's pick rate to drop because Thorns would drop, and it just didn't. So I do agree Malusi is a solid operator, and I do see her being played a lot on console. Going back to the Valkyrie, it's a big surprise she's still up there, in my opinion. I don't see Valkyrie played as much on console, so I would say Valkyrie is closer to the Mozzie, maybe. But I do have some things to say about Mozzie and Aruni. So I would say Valkyrie you put behind Thunderbird for sure. Okay, and Thunderbird's really good. Thunderbird's played a lot too. I also want to tell you guys, Smoke is not played a lot on console. Not played, and I see a lot of people playing Smoke on PC. Okay, Smoke's a must pick on PC for people that play PC. Everybody likes Smoke on there. I don't see him play that much on console. Okay, Smoke is definitely not even close to It shouldn't be close to Thunderbird pick rate wise. Okay, I would almost put Smoke in underpicked on console. Kaid's correct. Azami's the new op. Well, mine's probably correct. But what I want to talk about with guys is Mozzie and Aruni with that gun. A lot of people that have a Zim kind of crutch on that gun for some reason, and so I want to say Mozzie and Aruni. If we're talking about console guys, Mozzie and Aruni's pick rate is over here, and how strong they are, it's probably up here towards Malusi. Okay, but I would say the big change right now that we're looking at is Valkyrie probably should be behind Thunderbird with pick rate wise. Okay, Bandit, understandable. Capcan's something I want to talk about. Capcan is played a lot more on console, and I think people are starting to really realize how good Capcan is. So I would say Capcan's is definitely the overpicked column on console. But I think PC players are also figuring out how good Capcan is as well. Same with Frost. I think Frost is going to definitely see an increase of play. She's a really solid operator. Otherwise, Castle's down here. I don't like that. I think Castle's a really solid operator, and people are coming up with more and more strats with him. I would say he's played about 40% of the time, so on console. So he's definitely not down here for if we're talking about for console guys. Vigil, I do think Vigil's got to be played more than that on console. I see Vigil all the time. I see Vigil half the rounds on console, guys. Doc, Warden, Echo. Okay, Echo needs to be played more, man. Echo needs to be played more. But if you guys take anything away from today's video, if you're on PC or console, guys, play Maestro more. If you're struggling and you need a gun to go to, or you need an op to go to Maestro. Oh my gosh. He has the highest win rate, and he's one of the least picked ops on defense. Guys, why aren't we picking Maestro? His cams are a bitch to get rid of. He has an LMG, fitting the LMG meta. He has impacts to make rotations. And his weapon's crazy good. Like, why aren't we playing Maestro, guys? PC and console player. I don't see him being played on console very often either. But yeah, that's the big takeaway for defense. Well, the big takeaway is probably the Valkyrie and how she's still up there, pick rate, and how strong she is for PC players. Obviously, I don't think she's that high for pick rate or that far right for pick rate if we're talking about console. But I do think she's just as strong, or I guess it looks to be that she's just as strong, which is very interesting. So maybe we'll see another nerf to Valkyrie in the future. But yeah, I think that's we kind of skipped over Mute's solid op. I agree where he is, and I think that would put the same for console. But yeah, so that is kind of all the operators. We kind of talked about attacking and defending operators and their win deltas, and I kind of compared them to console. Of course, this is PC data, but I kind of compared it, kind of gave my input as a console player. And yeah, so if you guys liked today's video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you are not already, and thank you for watching.